Busy.
No.
I thought I'm busy, but I'm still like getting noise.
Yeah, so same. I'm not sure what it is, but it'll be right.
Yeah.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kane. I am a student ambassador here at St Anne's. I study law. I'm a first year, and I'm from a very small town from Scunthorpe. So I'm just going to introduce everybody else here. Abena, would you like to say hello?
Hi, my name is Abena. I'm a first year medical student, and I also go St Anne's. Well, yeah, this is St Anne's open day. And I'm from East London. Myra?
Hi, I'm Myra. I'm a first year doing material science at St. Anne's, and I'm from Malaysia.
Hi everyone, I'm George. I'm a second year here at St Anne's and I study maths and computer science. I'm from a small village near Oxford.
Okay, so did anybody here actually apply to St Anne's?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did too.
Me too.
Oh, 3 of you, right. Why did you guys apply? Because I didn't. So what was it about St Anne's that really got you captivated?
It was close to the medical center. And
Yeah, I would say the location as well, because it's
Yeah.
close to the materials department, and it's close to uni parks, which is really nice.
Good for runs. Yeah.
Yeah, on the open day, I went around a few different colleges that had some very different sort of vibes. If you know, some of the really small old ones and some of the really big grand ones, but St Anne's seemed like quite a nice contrast to some of those really fancy ones, and also it was really close to the maths department.
Yeah, locations are quite good about St Anne's. It's also a bit further out than some of the centre ones, which is quite nice. I don't know, some people kind of like being in the centre, but I kind of like it, and especially because all you need to do is get on the bikes, and then you're there in the centre in like 5 minutes. So it's quite nice, yeah.
Yeah.
So George, sorry, go on.
I was going to say there's definitely something good about being able to wake up at sort of 9:01 for a 9:05 lecture.
Yeah.
Although of course not you guys haven't experienced that this year with online lectures, I guess, as much, but last year there was definitely a race to sort of be there while waking up as late as possible.
George kind of touched on the community as well. So what do you guys think about the whole St Anne's community?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone is just really nice and friendly.
Yeah, it's quite hard to walk around college without bumping into people you know and getting sidetracked for a chat. You know, you might just be going to the library to work and you actually end up on a detour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot less like not prestigious, but it's a lot less like not well known, but it's a lot more better for, I suppose I kind of fit in more as a working class person. It's kind of been quite nice meeting lots of other people like that. So Myra, you said you study material sciences or earth sciences, sorry. So could you please tell us a bit about like what you go through in a normal day?
Yeah, sure. So I'm doing material science, and what I normally do in a day, because everything was online due to COVID, I had a couple lectures. So what the materials department did was that they scheduled everything, even though we could sort of watch everything in our own time, but they sort of gave us a timetable of the lecture. So I followed that, and I had lectures from, I would say 2 to 3 lectures a day and about 12 lectures a week. And some of the days I would finish lectures and we also have labs. So it will usually go from, I think, about 8 to about 12. And then the labs would start at 2 to around 5. Yeah.
That's quite fun. How about you, Rena? What's a normal day like for a medic?
Oh, okay. So a normal day would be, well, sometimes we have practicals. Well, basically, first of all, everything is online because of COVID. So usually everything is just done in your own time. And we have a lot of lectures. So usually your day would be full of like lectures, 2 or 3 lectures, and then maybe a practical. Yeah. And we have like tutorial work as well. So you have to incorporate that as well into your days.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention tutorials.
Right. It's always a big part of tutorials. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love the food here, and the formals is amazing. So what do you guys think about the meals, like cost wise and everything like that? George?
Yeah, so I was here last year, so I probably have a bit more of an overview of what it should be like. The food was just amazing last year, partly because the food is really nice and really sort of cost effective as a student budget, but also because you just go into the dining hall and that would sort of be your socializing for the day. Even if you hadn't seen anyone the rest of the day, I rarely spent less than sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours over dinner, because you'd just be talking to people and, you know, sometimes moving around tables. It just felt like a bit of a focal point for the college quite often, and as you said, it's really tasty and cheap.
I usually don't buy meals, so I usually use my kitchen to cook. Because my kitchen, well, the kitchen that you have depends on like the accommodation you're in, and I'm in Wilson, so we have like a pretty big kitchen where like everyone can sit in and stuff like that, and there's like a stove and a microwave, and there's quite a lot of space. So usually I make food in the kitchen, and yeah, the meals are really nice. It's just that I'm too lazy to go walk all the way down from the top floor and go to the kitchen. But yeah, so usually I use my kitchen.
Yeah, I really like the hall meals as well. Especially for Trinity term, we were all busy with exams and stuff, so I just didn't cook much. So having a really nice dining hall is great.
It's definitely nice having the choice to sometimes do either.
Yeah, they're quite cheap as well. You can usually get a full meal for about £3 or £4 in the dining hall, which is quite nice. And then obviously if you want to cook, you can do a full shop for maybe £30, £40, £50 for an entire week.
Yeah.
I think all first years have access to kitchens, I think, which is really good. Some colleges, some first years won't have access, which is quite nice. What about other like facilities? And the libraries are really nice. Have any of you guys used either of the 2 libraries that we've got?
Yeah, I've used both. I'm usually in the library as well because I cannot do work in my room, so I'm usually in the library, and I really like the new one. It's so nice. Like there's 3 floors, and there's like individual like study rooms, as well as like just like a room where you like with computers and like desks and stuff like that. So you can decide if you want to be in a study room or if you just want to be like out in like just like the open area. And there's also a garden, so when you have a break, like you can just go up to the roof garden and like just relax. It makes such a good like study break area.
Yeah, I agree. As a math student, I've only ever used the Tim Garden, sort of the new one that Abena was talking about. But I do think it's really nice, very fancy, and they have nice reading chairs.
Yeah, same. I really like the new library, the law room, because I don't know if there are for you guys, but there's like a specific room that's like a law room where all the law books are. But that's in the old library. But I still prefer the new library because it's just so much nicer. And like you both said, the roof garden is just so cool.
Yeah, I only recently found out about the roof garden. I only went like, I think a couple weeks ago before exams, and it's so pretty.
Yeah, it's very nice finding out about it at the start of Trinity.
And the weather was so nice. So when you made it, like especially during the exams while you were revising, it made it like you still got to enjoy that nice weather by going to the roof garden.
Yeah, in normal times, I think they have a few more events on the roof garden and stuff. So after matriculation, sort of where we formally became students, we went up there for drinks and stuff. But I'm sure there'll be things like that in the future to look forward to.
hopefully.
So I'm gonna guess that all of your workloads are really, really challenging because it is Oxford. The workload is quite challenging. So what was it that made you guys pick the courses that you did? So yeah, why did you guys pick in each respect of your courses?
So I can jump in, I guess. So I'm doing maths and computer science. So there is a rather limited pool of places at which you can do the joint honours in that way. And among those, Oxford just looked like it had the most interesting course, the biggest range of options, particularly in your third and fourth year. And there's also the prestige associated with Oxford. So I think those three reasons made it quite an easy decision once I sort of fixed in my mind that I actually wanted to do this course.
Yeah. I actually chose my course because, I chose my course because, of course, medicine, and you love caring about people and stuff. But I just really like science, and I just really liked knowing how the body works, kind of thing. And Oxford, they're the ones that really concentrate in the preclinical years more on how the biology behind so much stuff and the physiology behind the bodily systems. And then after your first 3 years, that's when you concentrate on the clinical side, which I really liked. And yeah, so that's why I chose my course.
Yeah, similar to Abena, I just really like science, and I think material science sort of is a blend of the things I like the most. So there's some physics, there's some chemistry, and there's a bit of engineering. And I think those are sort of the elements that I enjoy the most, like the things that we study about right now. I find interesting things every single day, and I'm really happy that I chose this course.
I just I'll add on to what Abena said about your course sort of focusing on the sort of fundamentals behind how it all works. That definitely feels like a common thread in quite a lot of people I've spoken to, and also with my course. There's definitely a strong emphasis here on how does it work, and sort of how does it work from first principles sometimes. Yeah. And sort of what they say on my course is that we're not teaching you a programming language, we're teaching you how to understand how they work, so that sort of when they change in 10, 20 years, you'll still be well set up.
Yeah, and because you're at Oxford, you're literally learning from people who are actually doing the research themselves to understand how these systems work. So you're literally getting the first person perspective on so many systems, and so you're getting so much understanding. And especially since you have tutorials as well, you can get in so much detail as well, which is so amazing, literally.
Yeah, quite a few times where I've been meeting somebody or watching a lecture or having a tutorial, and then somebody will just say, this guy wrote the book on this, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool, because I've been reading that book all term, and now speaking to the person who wrote it. It's very cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the reason I picked law was it just sounds really cool to say I studied law at Oxford. So. Yeah, so I thought I'd give it a go. So obviously all of your courses are going to be really, really intense. How do you find a nice balance between social life and studying? Myra, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, so I've been joining a couple different societies. So I'm in the Malaysian club, and I'm also in the art club, and and also the material society, obviously. And so whenever I'm not doing tutorial work, or when I just feel when I'm feeling down, I can just move my attention towards those societies and just do some social activities, because I'm the welfare officer in the Malaysian club, so I can organize some cute little socializing activities for Malaysians, and that's been really fun. So, and also we mentioned, St. Anne's is really close to Uni Parks. It's literally 1 minute away. So when I'm really stressed, I just take a walk in Uni Parks, which just really helps lighten the mood.
Yeah. Same as Myra, I'm part of a lot of societies as well. I'm in the Cheer Society, and I'm also in the Oxford Music Society, and what other societies I'm in. I'm also in the Japanese society. I'm in quite a few societies, and ACS society, and so usually they have events as well. And if you like are really gonna like organize or structure and stuff, you can like organize your studying time around like society events. You can be like, okay, I'll do this much work, and then after I'll go to this society event. So like that's mainly how I balance it, kind of thing. And especially if you have friends as well, or like your college is doing events, or you have college friends that and they just want to hang out and stuff like that. You can also like balance that. You can use those events to like balance that with studying as well. And same as Myra, I also go to the park, have a run and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I'm in fewer societies this year than last year. And I think these days I mostly just sort of watch lectures in the morning, work on tutorial sheets until they're done, I guess. And then once they're done, just sort of relax. I have quite a nice flat with some friends at the moment, so mostly socialising with them this year. And I feel like last year and first year, I felt a lot more like, oh, there's so many societies, I need to do them all.
Yeah.
And I took a bit of a step back this year.
Yeah, I think first term you really kind of find your own balance. So I kind of didn't also, like Josh, didn't do as many societies, but I've kind of been hanging out with people, getting involved with the JCR, getting involved with outreach, and on top of keeping up with work. So I think everybody finds their balance, and it kind of depends on a lot of things. It depends on like what grade you're aiming to get. So if somebody's aiming for a first compared to somebody who's aiming for a 2-1, the person who's aiming for the first is probably likely to put in a bit more work time than the person aiming for the 2-1. So it's completely subjective, and everybody finds their balance differently. So I like mine. I kind of work for a few days and then I have a few days off. So it's kind of very intense for a few days and like late library nights, and then a few days free when I can just relax and hang out with my friends and go out and things, which is quite nice. So something that I really enjoyed this year was we had one formal. George, you probably have had quite a few too, probably the expert in this area, but we had our first formal, which I really enjoyed. Do you want to just kind of run down how that was for you?
Yeah, sure. So most Oxford colleges provide sort of halls, which is sort of just normal dinner and sort of just meals and all that sort of stuff. But they also provide some fancier events. So some of these are formals. So normally at ANS there would be what's called a formal every 2 weeks in term, where they'd sort of lay the tables out nicely, and we have some really, really good chefs here at ANS, so they'd cook something delicious, and there'll be sort of wine and just generally nice atmosphere, and you dress up for it as well. I know other colleges do them at different regularities, so some colleges have them less regularly, some have them almost every day, sort of as an option for dining, which feels a bit excessive to me. But essentially they're a chance to dress up, do something a bit more special with some friends, and sometimes meet some new people as well. Sometimes people go to other colleges as well as a way to meet people in other colleges over a nice meal and a glass of wine. So you guys had your freshers formal, I think, this year in Trinity. How was that?
Yeah, it was really fun. I think it was the first time that I met everyone in my building. So that was really nice. And just having a nice meal with your housemates. And then also after the formal, I think lots of people just hung out in the quad, which was a really nice experience.
I haven't gone to the freshers formals or any formals that they've had, but there has been like quite a few like social events at St. Anne's anyway. I think in Michaelmas they had the Glastonbury, which was really like a festival kind of thing, but like St. Anne's soon, and that was quite fun as well. And there was like a lot of games, and like I know that there's also like crew dates with like the St. Anne's netball team, or like the sports teams from St. Anne's, and they like the events officers, the ENTS officers or something like that. They usually plan like social events. I know that we had a freshers garden party planned, but COVID took strike. But there's like you have ENTS officers that usually like plan a lot of social events, and you have like bops, which is like themed like parties. I know there was an 80s one recently, which it looked. I was looking at. I had an exams, but I was looking at people in their costumes, and they look really cool, like really 80s themed, which was quite fun as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think formal sort of sit on one side of the whole. We're going to dress up and be fancy, but most events at ANDS are definitely not like that.
Yeah, I think Super Bops are what I'm looking most forward to, which is like a huge party across with different colleges involved. I've just heard rumours at the moment, but yeah, we've not been able to experience one because of COVID. But hopefully next year there should be some things, a lot more events, and obviously more formals and more of everything really. Just when everything allows it.
Yeah, there's one that gets hosted with Somerville College, who are sort of just across the road from us some years, which was great fun last year. So I'm also looking forward to more in the future.
That's very nice. So now finances, that was something I was quite worried about when I arrived. I was kind of a bit worried, and luckily there were quite a few obviously Oxford bursaries available. Is there anybody I can, if nobody else can, but is there anybody who feels comfortable talking about the bursaries or anything?
Yeah, I know that I'm on quite a lot of bursaries. Well, not quite a lot, but like I've taken the opportunity to apply to as much as I can because it doesn't want free money. But so I'm part of Crank Start scholarship, and like they give you like a certain amount of money for like I don't know, I think it's like all the years you're at uni, which is like 3 years or something like that. But you have to do like volunteering or stuff like that, which it's quite nice. Like they do like quite a lot. There was like walking dogs volunteering. There's one volunteering I'm doing, which I just like walk with a woman with dementia, and I get to speak Spanish, which I love. Yeah, I just walk her around, which is quite fun as well. And yeah, and it's quite nice because they're literally giving you money just to do like a little volunteering, which is but the volunteering is quite fun as well. And they also give you like opportunities to find internships and things like that. I'm also on Arlen Hamilton bursary, which is there's this woman from America, and like she visited Oxford one day. She was like, wow, this place is really good. I want to give people the opportunity to come here. And so I was like, and so she just like gives bursaries to a couple of students, the same as like for the rest of their like degree. And yeah, that one's literally, I don't have to do anything. I got to meet her. She's quite she's like a tech coon or something like that. Like a tech tycoon or something like. Yeah, she's very involved in like financing like tech startups and stuff like that. So it was really cool to meet her as well because of that, because of the bursary. And there's like emails that can be sent around usually within term about like different bursaries from like different like finances and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also on Crankstart, and that kind of gets allocated by your postcode. So there's not really an application process to that. So I get the maximum maintenance loan, and then I get the Crankstart bursary on top of that because of parental finance and everything. And I know there are some also other ones that you can apply to. So I've got a friend who applied to a bursary to get extra money that he has to go through an application process for, and he has to go through interviews and beat out other applicants to get this one, which was really good. That was only at St Anne's as well. So St Anne's is really good for bursaries and also for finances in general. If people are struggling, then the bursary will help. So if you can't afford the rent or something like that, then they will help with that. They will give they will suspend rent or give money if you really are struggling. All you need to do is reach out, and the Treasury will almost always help you out.
Yeah, there's like the annual vacation grants that you can apply for. If you're an international student and you need to stay in college over the vacation, you can apply for the financial aid, and I think they'll almost always come through.
Right. So for what about applications? How did you guys feel about applying? What was your guys' like thoughts going into applying?
Nervous.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
Be a good one, yeah.
I mean, it's a multi-stage process, right? So you've got sort of the whole personal statement part of it, and the UCAS form, and then you've got sort of the admissions test, and then if you get through the admissions test, you have the interviews, and then you have that nervous wait over Christmas as you sort of wait to see if you've been offered a place or not. So
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
I was just going to say, for me, the interviews were terrifying because I actually applied to Lincoln, so I had my 2 interviews there, and then I got told to wait for another day, and then I came to St Anne's and I had an interview where I walked into a room and there were just 4 tutors just sat around the room, and I was absolutely terrified. But it's really weird now because they're now the people that I speak to like on a weekly basis. I speak to all of them. When the first time I met them, I walked into a room and I was sat in a corner, and I was just so scared. But yeah, I was almost sure that I'd not gotten in at like every single stage, like after the admission test, after my personal statement, after my interview. So it was really nice to actually get in, I guess.
yeah, definitely. The people who interviewed me are also currently most of my tutors for the first and second year. So I think they are literally sort of sitting down with you and going, can I teach this person for the next 2 years? And the interview didn't feel that dissimilar to some of the things we've then talked about in tutorials sort of later on. So
Yeah, I think most of us didn't go in with the expectation of getting in. And like when I did my admissions test, which was the PAT, it was really, really difficult. And after the admissions test, I was pretty sure that I wasn't going to get in, but yeah, here I am.
I think mine was quite different. My interviews were quite nice. And so, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm getting them. But my interviews were like very enjoyable. And like, I came out of them going, wow, that was a really good interview. Or was it's either I gave the wrong answers and they just acted like it was good, or like it was actually just a good interview. So I kind of thought, like, I possibly might get in. There's a greater chance of me that I think that I might get in. My interviews were all like just really quite nice. I had my interviews at St Anne's at first, and then at Christchurch, and I really didn't want to go Christchurch. Like, that place is so scary. But yeah, and that interview was even good as well. So I was thinking, oh, I might possibly get in. But it can go either way. I've known that some people have had amazing interviews and they didn't get in, or some people had really bad interviews and they still got in. It really could go either way. And I guess you just have to try as best as you can, to be honest. And
yeah. And your idea of what a good interview is isn't necessarily the same as a tutor's idea, because you might feel like it's been a really bad interview, but that's because they've been pushing you way beyond where you think you can go, and sort of you're showing them that actually you can sort of stumble through some really hard stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always say you can't really read into them because you just, like Abena said, hers were really fun and enjoyable. I was terrified, and we're both there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to judge your interviews.
Yeah.
What about the rest of the application process? What did you guys do that made you like stand out compared to other people, like right from the start?
So sorry, Myra, go on.
What made you?
Honestly, I'm not really sure because I didn't have any special work experience or anything like that. I just sort of like did some extra reading. I read 2 books and sort of mentioned those in my personal statement, and I don't know, I just talked about what interested me. And yeah, I don't think you need to have any special preparation or like work experience in order to get in. You just need to show them that you're really passionate and really enthusiastic.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Myra. Because I guess the passion that you have for your subject and how much you love your subject will come through in like your personal statement and your application and your preparation for like any like assessments or like any exams or stuff like that, like it will show through, and the like tutors and like anyone who's like looking at your application will know that. And because with me, I was really passionate about it, so I did like 3 work experiences, read like 2 books, like I did I did like so many summer schools, and that's because I just really loved the subject and I just wanted to know so much more. And like if and that passion just showed through like my application. And so simply, like, you just have to show that you really love your subject.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I'd say for preparation, you don't necessarily need to prepare sort of like for the admissions test, for example, with anything particularly fancy. But for example, I had to take the maths admissions test, and so I prepared for that by doing as many past math papers as I could find. You don't necessarily need to have the best tutor or anything. If you can try the questions, get some wrong, look at some answers, improve. And it's about sort of putting as much preparation in as you can. So you feel as confident that you can do as best as you can do when the time comes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I completely agree with everybody's things. It's kind of about passion, and rather than going out and doing the most, it's about what you take from it, what you learn from it, and what you enjoy from it.
Yeah.
So, Myra, what books did you read? Sorry.
So I read Stuff Matters, which is sort of a staple book for all material science students. Like, everybody reads it. So I would actually advise you like to read it, but then not include it in your personal statement, because I didn't know it at the time, but this book, like, everybody has read this book, and the tutors are sort of a bit bored of the book by now. So I think it'd be a good idea not to include it, but it's such a great read. It's a really good introduction to material science. And I also read this book by Michio Kaku called Physics of the Future. I was just talking about all of the new technology that we would be using in the future. And also, I read The New Science of Strong Materials as well. Some of it not. I didn't finish the book. But yeah, those are some of the books that I read for my personal statement.
Yeah, it's always nice to get some ones that maybe people haven't read. So for me, that my Stuff Matters book was The Rule of Law by Tom Bingham. Just every law student has read that, and I came in like, oh yeah, I read this book called The Rule of Law, and every single person on the interviews was just like, yeah, me too, and I was like, oh well. Yeah. It's what you take from it. Like, if you find a very niche thing in it, that's always good as well, rather than just looking at key overarching things. If you find something that you just really enjoy and then go into that, that'll really help you stand out. So regarding, obviously, COVID's kind of ruined everyone's kind of year this year. It's been almost impossible to do anything, but have you guys had much chance to meet other people from different colleges this year?
Yeah, I've actually met quite a lot of people, which I don't know how I've done it. It's literally just been an accident most of the time, and because of societies most of the time as well. I think the society I met the most people was from like the ACS Society, because they did like quite a lot of events and like picnics and like socially distanced events just to make sure they're COVID safe as well. And that's where like I met most of like people from other colleges. And that's mostly how I met people from colleges. I've had a list where like I've been trying to like meet. I have a list of like how much people I've met from like different colleges as well. So that's been that's been a challenge for me to make the most of like being my first year and the situation by trying to meet people from like different colleges as well. There's so many colleges, like you have to try and meet at least somebody from one. Yeah.
I know that some people try to go to a formal at each college, so it seems you'll have contacts if you want to try that particular challenge.
Yeah, I think I met a lot of people through societies as well, especially through the Material Society. We recently had a really big picnic where all years of material science students were attended, and it was really nice to socialize and just talk to people. And also, I think a really big a really good way to talk to people is through Instagram. Like I met quite a few people from Instagram as well, from my course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a few programs before actually coming to Oxford. So the Unique Summer School and Opportunity Oxford, the two programs that I were on before. So I've met like a few people through different things. So I think societies are a really good way as well, because like Northerners society is a pretty good one. You kind of meet a good range of people across different colleges, which is quite nice. Yeah. Hopefully when like they open up events at different colleges, we'll be allowed in. I suppose, George, you kind of were here on a normal year. How was it different meeting people different colleges?
I guess it wasn't really something as much you had to set out to do. You sort of just bump into people everywhere. I mean, you were in lectures. I mean, I was in lectures with 300 different people from all of the colleges. So you just sit next to different people. All of the sort of society events would be in person. So you meet loads of different people there. So I mean, as long as you were involved in a few societies and sort of went to all of your tutorial and lecture things, you just meet lots of people. That's the way it was. So hopefully it can be that way again next year for you guys.
Yeah, some tutorials are sort of organized between a couple of different colleges, so you can meet people through those as well.
Yeah, I've had a few tutorials with people from different colleges, which has been quite nice as well to see just new faces and things like that.
With medicine, it was practicals where you would meet people. Yeah, I met quite a lot of people as well from like different colleges because of practicals, which was the only thing, like the only way we could like come in to the actual medical teaching centre as well.
Have your lab started again this year?
Pardon?
But I suppose, Myra, you'll have labs as well, so I guess for both of you really.
So I think I had one in-person lab in Michaelmas, and then it was locked down and everything was online. And then they tried bringing back some of the labs in Trinity. So I think overall I went to maybe 3 in-person labs, which is not a lot. And also because of COVID, very few people could be allowed inside the labs. So I don't think that was where I met a lot of the people.
Yeah, I know in normal times, I think most science students have a full day of labs most weeks. I'm sort of living with a few people who did sort of physics and that sort of thing last year, and sort of Friday would just be their lab day, and you'd see them at the start of the day sort of all energetic, and at the end of the day just fried from sort of 8 hours of doing lab work.
Yeah, hopefully back next year we'll be back to normal a bit more. So what do you guys think like generally would make St Anne's stand out from like the crowd? Because obviously there's 40 colleges, and no matter who you speak to, they're going to say that their college is the best college. I think I said St Anne's is the best college, even though I didn't apply here. Is there anything that you guys honestly makes it stand out compared to the rest of the colleges?
It's different, I guess, and not necessarily in a standout way, I guess, but the architecture is different. It's quite a big college. If you want to sort of be among quite a lot of undergraduates, it's one of the sort of 3 or 4 largest undergraduate colleges by intake. But the things we love it for, like sort of friendly people, sense of community. I imagine you'd have those at most colleges, but Anne's is the best anyway.
Yeah, I think the architecture also makes it less intimidating. Like you don't have all these ominous old scary buildings around you. And that really makes it look friendlier as well, I think. And also there's something that I really love about St. Anne's, and I will take any opportunity to like talk about this, is that we have 5 black cats around the college.
Yes.
Yeah. They're quite cute.
Yeah.
They're very cute.
So something I really like is well, obviously in a normal year all the freshers would have been placed in the beds, which is quite nice. So already this year, like most of the freshers were in the Bevs, which is like a row of 10 houses. So it's really nice. You just go in to do your laundry and you run into any friends. And so I really like just the community feel of what it's like in second and third years, usually in Wolfson and Rain mostly. So it's nice that you will always run into people like in your cohort, so you won't just like be walking around and see somebody you don't know. You kind of almost always with people that you know and that you're gonna be friends with, which is really nice.
Yeah, I think that being said, in the first year, you're right that sort of everyone is in the Bevs, but I think in second and third year, people do spread out a bit more, which can be quite nice because you meet the other years, but also because it's the room ballot, you can choose to sort of be with your friends. So you can be with your friends, but also sort of in a corridor with some people that you haven't met, and you get to know the other years a bit more, which I feel like is a bit sad that we haven't really got to know the first years that much, and the first years haven't really got to know us as much as would normally happen.
Yeah, normally I've heard there's supposed to be like quite a close tie between the first and second years. It's kind of like just a bit fluidity between them all. But yeah, it's been quite impossible this year with a lot of the second years have been living out. I think George.
Yeah, I'm living in St Anne's graduate accommodation because they had to sort of take some more first years because of the whole A-level fiasco. But that's worked out very nicely for me because it's really nice accommodation.
Well, what have you guys thought of the accommodation for this year? So have you guys been in Wolfson and Rain?
Yeah, so I'm in Rain, and we also have a really big kitchen like Wolfson. So basically, Wolfson and Rain are these two more modern-looking buildings in Anne's, and they're all like every floor is equipped with like really big kitchens, and it's been really good for socializing with your housemates and stuff.
Yeah.
I think modern is a very nice way to describe Wolfson and Rain. Brutalist is the more commonly used term.
Yeah.
Prison-like.
Of their time.
Yeah. I heard there was supposed to be a moat surrounding it, but that didn't happen.
I think surrounding Anne's, but we ran out of money when they were building the college. I think the JCR passed a motion that we should build a moat, but I'm not sure with whose money, so nothing's happened there yet.
I mean, to be fair, inside they're actually really nice. I mean, we get balconies in Wolfson and Rain, which is if you have to look out over the quad, is really, really cool.
Mm.
And
I don't know, I actually really like the brick walls.
That's the first time I've heard that. I hate brick walls. Because my husband hates it. It's like just brick. But it's still quite nice. Like, it gives you an opportunity to make it kind of your own. Kind of, just gives you an excuse to like add more decorations.
Yeah, the facilities are not too bad either. I mean, for sharing bathrooms and sharing showers, it's not as bad as I was expecting. I was really hoping to get an ensuite, but it just didn't happen. So we've kind of had to share all year. So I lived the past year in the Bevs. I've moved into Rain now. But we kind of had a bathroom between two and a shower between two, which was pretty good because the only time I ever really kind of had to wait was if we'd all kind of done something together, like gone punting or something, and then we've all come back to shower. So yeah, I don't know about you guys, but for me, sharing was not bad.
Yeah, I actually like showers quite a lot. When I went home last term and after last term, and I was like, wow, I really missed the showers. And I was really surprised because like the showers and their like it's a bathroom and a shower you share, but I still really liked it, which is quite weird, but yeah.
It felt for me like part of the first year was dealing with the fact that you're all away from home, you're in it together, and you might be sharing, a shower or bathroom between 2, 3, 4. And then sort of once you've got past that first year and you know everyone better, then you get to move into some of the ensuite accommodation.
I think because of COVID, it worked out really nicely for us because we only had 8 people to a floor. I don't know about you, Abena, but my household had 8 people, and then we had 2 people sharing a bathroom, and my housemate and I actually shower at different times. So he showers in the morning, I shower at night. So that was really nice.
Yeah, it's very nice when you're on different schedules and then you got
Yeah.
set time periods for showering and everything.
Yeah.
So, Abena, Myra, you guys will have like recently done your first year exams, right? You guys
Yeah.
have. What were they like? Were you guys worried about them? Have you got your grades back yet, or is it still waiting?
Just waiting. Yeah, still waiting.
I've got my grades back. So yeah, that was really scary because the three of my papers were sort of online papers, and then there was one in person. And I think having the in person one was a really great experience um, because the next time I think we'll be having exams is in, like for my course, is in third year. So I think having at least one paper in person was a really, really great experience and sort of would help me prepare for the in person exam. And the online ones were just you doing the paper in your room, um, which was fine. But I think doing it in person in the exam hall really gets you in the mood for the exam. So it's just really a shame that we couldn't do it and do all the papers in person.
Yeah, same. So half of my exams were in my room as well, and then the other half were in the MSTC, and it was quite a lot of exams, which was kind of stressful. And I haven't done exams in so long, so I was kind of nervous. But there was so much support from like the other medics as well, because we're all in the same boat as well. We were all living together, so it was like we had quite a lot of support from the other medics, as well as like from my college mom, because you have like college parents that like have done all these exams that you have, and so they give you so much advice, so much help. And my college mom was really helpful during that time. Like she would come and sit with me while I'm revising and stuff. So if there's anything I was like confused about, I could ask her. Like she gave me like past essays. Like she helped me with quite a lot of stuff. So it wasn't as stressful as I thought it would be, and I did have like quite a lot of support.
Yeah, and I think before the exams, a lot of tutors do revision tutorials, which were really, really helpful. And also being able to, I was really lucky that I was able to be in Oxford because some of my friends are, all over the world. And but being in Oxford, you can really collaborate with your classmates and just discuss things that you don't really understand. And I think that really helped me with the revision.
I suppose, George, you're a year on now. What was it like for you now? How do you look back at the exams?
Fear and trepidation. So these second year exams have sort of been the first proper set of hard exams we've had to take, because last year our prelims were sort of put online, but were quite easy to sort of reflect the fact we hadn't, everything was really last minute with COVID, whereas this year they'd had a whole year to prepare open book maths exams. And I think the way you get around the fact that maths exams are open book is you make them really hard. But they were hard for everyone, and it wasn't too stressful because we had all the support of the tutors, and we could chat to each other in Oxford to prepare for them. So yeah, I still haven't done an in-person exam yet either, so hopefully fingers crossed for next year.
Yeah, all of mine were online as well. I suppose, speaking of online, I suppose it was still a bit better than A levels. Well, for us first years, we kind of just completely skipped out A levels. I just kind of didn't do them and gave us our predicted grades. So that summer was kind of fun waiting for exam results. So yeah, I remember the day just sat waiting because I was at work. I had to wait till the end of the day, and it was just kind of a bit annoying that on the day I couldn't even wake up at 8 a.m. and do it. I had to wait until like 4 until I finished work. How about you guys? What was that summer like for you, waiting to find out?
It was quite it was just so weird because you also had the lockdown as well, and like you knew that you had no control over your grades, like basically no control. All the control that you had, you've already like given it over because basically school was over very unexpectedly. So you could only hope that the work you had done throughout the whole like 2 years of sixth form or college were like just enough to get you the grades that you wanted. And like on that day going to get my grades, I was quite nervous because there was like I didn't get I'm usually like a big game performer. I wait till exams to really show what I can do and stuff like that, because I'm just really bad at like during like classes and stuff like that. But during the exams really give me that pressure that I need. And so usually I do better in exams than I actually do like throughout the term. And so yeah, I was quite nervous about what grades I would get. But in the end it turned out completely fine. Like I got the grades that I needed, and yeah, I ended up getting in. So
yeah, I know they're quite sorry, go on.
No, that's fine.
I was going to say, yeah, they're quite lenient with the circumstances as well. So I know quite a few people who didn't quite make the grades, although they probably would have had they done the exams. So college was quite lenient and let them in anyway. I know somebody who got a D in something, even though their expectation was an A, and they still managed to get into college. Was quite nice with it.
Yeah, in normal times it's a little bit less like that, although there is still a bit of leniency, I think. But normally there isn't a pandemic, so. Yeah, for me that morning actually of UCAS was quite underwhelming, I guess would be the phrase, because I sort of woke up at 7:30 expecting to go into school for sort of maybe 8:30 or whatever, and I was sort of just about to come down for breakfast and I got an email from UCAS saying you've been accepted. So, oh, that's over then.
Yeah.
I suppose one of the really last things is there anything else like you would like to say about ANS, about like how good it is, or anything in particular that you love, or any advice, or just anything in particular that you'd like to impart?
I really love ANS. There's so much, like there's a lot of big colleges and then there's like really small colleges, and ANS is just the right perfect size, like perfect location, because like I know because like there's other colleges that are quite far, but ANS is just like the perfect location, not too out of town and not too in town, that you're literally facing tourists all the time as well. And yeah, ANS is it's like Goldilocks. Like I feel like Goldilocks, like it's just the perfect one for me. Yeah.
I think missing a few terms of life at ANS, sort of last summer term and this Hillary term, sort of our middle term, has put into focus just how great it has been, because you don't realise what you've got until it's gone. I know that's a cliche, but sort of even just sort of walking around the college and meeting people and going to the library and just doing your normal routine, you're making friends, you're living the Oxford life, and studying a subject that hopefully you love. So and I think ANS is one of the best places to do that in Oxford.
Yeah, I think ANS is a really homey place. So like whenever I go hang out with my friends at other colleges and like go join some events and stuff, it's always really nice to make the trek back to ANS, because it's like a bit quieter and it's sort of like you're going back, it gives you the sense of going back home, which is something I really like about ANS.
Right, yeah, that's great. So thank you all guys for your questions and for your answers. They've been absolutely brilliant. So if we're just going to end now, is there any advice that you would have given yourself when you were applying to uni, or any advice you would give to any prospective applicants at the moment?
Try not to compare yourself to anyone else. You're going to do as well as you can, and hopefully you're going to fulfill your potential and do really well in all the processes and have a great time. But comparing yourself to other people is just going to sort of lead to worry, and you don't need that.
I would say if you're preparing for admissions tests, really do lots of practice on the past year's papers, and because that's all you can really do is do the past years. And for interviews, I personally found mock interviews to be really helpful, and just having done all that, you can, all you can do now is just hope for the best and hope that you've done your best, and just, yeah, everything will work out in the end.
Mhm. Yeah, I would definitely say just don't stress out so much about what you're doing, because you know you're doing your best. Well, you may not think that you're doing the best, but you really are doing your best and you're doing as much as you can. So don't stress out so much and just put all your effort into what you're already doing. And same as George, like stop comparing yourself, because you're really going to be fine. Honestly, like what happens, and you always make the best out of any opportunity you get.
Yes, I think mine would just kind of be enjoy yourself. So I didn't really realize it at the time, but it was a really good time. School, college, summer, it was all just such a good time. I don't think that I actually enjoyed that enough. So I think that would be my advice: just enjoy yourself, and you're doing great. So yeah, thank you very much for all your answers. You guys have been great. Thank you all for the questions. The questions have been amazing. And yeah, that's it. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.